But if you're like me and hadn't been following this case from the top and really had to start at the beginning with very little background about any of the people involved, what had happened, or any of the details of this case, you're probably wondering, how the heck did they even know to keep an eye on this doucheburger, Bryan? Hi, Cassie.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, creepy people. Hello. Do you see how she's just been edging in on my thing?
I'm just trying to steal all her things. It's fine. Imitation is the, best form of flattery? Is that what they say?
Something like that. Some variation thereof. All right. I guess we'll go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
We'll go with that.
So if you're new to our creepy corner of the world, this is PNW, Haunts and Homicides, where we chat about true crime, paranormal, and all things spooky, weird, creepy, interesting in the Pacific Northwest.
Love it. We also do a tarot reading at the end of every episode for some deeper insight. We're going to start this one off with kind of a bang.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Getting right into it, and good stuff starts happening right away. Part 2. Here we go. Just in case you've been living under a rock or you've been avoiding the case, I'm sure you know about Bryan Kohberger's arrest.
It's me. I live under the rock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi.
I know. It's me. So we know who did it. Allegedly. For legal reasons, I'll just say that to cover my ass. He has not been convicted. This individual's guilt is just an extremely popular opinion that seems all but a foregone conclusion based on the preponderance of somewhat limited but extremely compelling evidence so far.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
So this all really starts when a call is placed to 911 from the King Road residence at 11:58 a.m. The 911 call is pretty weird, or at least that's what we're told. No one's heard it.
No?
Nope.
Oh.
It has not been released to the public.
Oh, okay.
It has to do with some of the language that the caller used. And I'm not even going to go there at this point because it doesn't sound like we're even completely clear on who placed the call. And to be honest, at this point in the case, it's really neither here nor there.
Okay.
And I'm real over it. And also, I don't want to be here till midnight.
Me neither.
Mm-hmm. In my mind, there's a lot of potential explanations for some of these sort of red herring type details that every news outlet has been maniacally reporting for everyone to consume and speculate about. But this is why we wait. Law enforcement does not seem to share in these concerns, which in and of itself isn't always meaningful because I don't trust them so much always.
Yeah, not always.
Not always. However, I have it on good authority, credit where credit is due, from one of our awesome Patreon subscribers, that this is another item the prosecutors have had some really interesting discussions about as more information has been made available. So I've listened to their coverage specifically regarding the 911 call as well. So I'll say again, if you are interested in exploring some of the legal or procedural, just other aspects, detailed aspects of the case in that regard, I would suggest that you check out their episodes covering developments in the case so far. Because #not a lawyer.
Nope.
And yes, it is hard. Much of what they've discussed has been updated for clarity within other source materials and reporting. And in some cases, the information they may have speculated about or discussed has been confirmed in one manner or another since the air date. So anything that they weren't totally clear about, they've been very transparent about. This has not been confirmed. And as it has become confirmed, you've seen other sources pick that up and talk about it or change their reporting to reflect that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But I also feel confident that while they're sharing their opinions in some cases, they're making every effort to do so in an ethical way. Even as more information has become available, none of what they've shared with listeners has proven to be misleading or wildly inaccurate, because they are lawyers after all.
Yeah, you would hope that would be the case.
You would think. You would think. Anyway, getting back to the 911 call, law enforcement responding to that initial call really had no idea what they were walking into, because the 911 call, from what we understand, was very vague. But they quickly called for additional support after their preliminary review of the bloody scene. The university issued a shelter-in-place alert to students following the gruesome discovery, but that only lasted for a few hours.
That would be horrifying. Can you even imagine?
No.
You don't know why. You don't know what's going on.
Of course, many have made comments about how law enforcement seemed pretty adamant that there was not a danger to the public at large following the crime. But they did ask that local residents remain aware and alert. And people were like, how do they know that there's no danger to the public at large?
Right? Did they have him?
They didn't, but I think there must have been aspects of the crime scene about things that they were already finding at that early stage that led them to believe this was a targeted attack.
Oh.
We don't know what that was or if that's the case, but it seems like even in the early days of the investigation, they may have had good reason to believe and disseminate this information, even beyond just not wanting the public to fly into a panic. So, take from that what you will. It wasn't until November 14th that the victims were publicly identified.
When did this happen again?
November 13th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
only a day, but what then follows is weeks of painful grieving and, for some, likely quite a bit of fear. Then in early December, there was a press release by police indicating they wanted to speak to the driver of a white Hyundai Elantra. No plate was provided, though it was said to be a model roughly 2011 to 2013. They also indicated the vehicle has been in the immediate area and that it may have had information in the case, whoever that individual was.
Ooh.
But they really kept the significance of this under wraps. They really tried to downplay it, to be honest. Records that were obtained back in December relating to the case indicated that there were 90 similar cars registered to park on campus.
I was going to say, how many people have that car? That's such a plain...
or something similar, right?
They're all just going to call and be like, yeah, so you wanted to talk to me, or...
The records also indicated that police were working their way through a list of 22,000.
1,000? I was like, 22. Is she going to keep going? Oh my God.
So let's recap some of the facts from the case here. 4 college students were all murdered in a bloody attack. Ethan Chapin, 22. Xana Kernodle, 20. Madison Mogen, 21, and Kaylee Goncalves, 21. Here's a handful of things that we know based on the affidavit. The police used DNA to identify the suspect. We'll come back to this in a moment.
Okay.
One of the victims was reportedly awake during the attack, which appeared to have been planned.
Okay. Ugh.
Kohberger wanted to work at the police department.
Oh, not another one.
My next sentence, hearkening back to one of my least favorite incel pieces of shit, Richard Gilmore.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right, so back to our DNA. Per the infamous January 5th affidavit, which did anything good happen in the first few days of January? January 5th, January 6th. For fuck's sake.
No.
I mean, the affidavit was good, technically, but a tan leather knife sheath was found next to Maddie's body while processing the crime scene on November 13th. Investigators were able to determine that a single source of male DNA had been left on the button snap of the knife sheath.
Ha.
Police then recovered trash from the Kohberger family home in Northeast Pennsylvania on December 27th.
Oh, shit. They went digging in the trash.
Surprise, surprise. The DNA from the knife sheath showed a connection to the DNA profile obtained from the trash.
Weird.
This little bitch nugget was going around in public wearing gloves, and he took trash to their neighbor's trash can. The police were monitoring him during this time.
Huh. Oh, wow.
You little fuck nugget.
That's funny.
Uh-huh.
How did he know?
Oh, trust me, he thinks he's so smart.
He just walks around wearing gloves.
Nothing to see here, guys. I just wear gloves all the time.
Yeah, they're just, my hands are cold. It's fine.
Yeah, not those kind of gloves.
Yeah, right.
Like,
that's what I was picturing, like plastic gloves, but
Yeah.
him saying my hands are cold.
uh-huh. Equally as dumb.
Oh my God.
One thing that does remain a bit mysterious is the murder weapon itself, which, you know, he did drive from Idaho to Pennsylvania. So somewhere in that circuitous route that he took.
That's long. That's a long ways.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Police said during a press conference on December 30th that the weapon used in the attack was believed to be a fixed blade knife, but it has still not been located. And I've looked, recently.
You've looked for it?
Not the murder weapon. I've looked for updates, credible or not.
Yeah.
Nobody has said otherwise. Like, we have not found the murder weapon.
I can imagine that would just be so fucking hard to find.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you just have to get lucky.
Yeah.
Honestly, I assume, who knows? But my assumption would be that he ditched that knife somewhere on that road trip. I don't know.
Yeah.
Put it in a backpack and never had to be concerned about his dad saying, hey, what are you doing with that knife? But if you're like me and hadn't been following this case from the top and really had to start at the beginning with very little background about any of the people involved, what had happened, or any of the details of this case, you're probably wondering, how the heck did they even know to keep an eye on this doucheburger, Bryan?
Yeah.
It's a fair question, because this is sort of jumping around slightly in terms of the chronological order when it comes to the evidence, but it's sort of how the story developed for me since I hopped on this bandwagon so late. Anyway, law enforcement obtained search warrants for cell phones used near the victim's residence around the time of the slayings.
Oh.
Kohberger's phone initially did not show up. So, seriously, how did we go from 0 to Kohberger?
Yeah. Come on, Caitlin, tell us.
know. I just thought that was really interesting because I'm like, oh, the phone records, that's how they did it. And then they're like, oh, actually, he didn't even show up at first.
That's so weird.
What?
Yeah.
Well, based on the affidavit, a number of factors seemed to really help them zero in on him. We know that his vehicle will come into play at some point, but we're not going to start there.
So it was his vehicle?
I mean, that was part of it, but we're going to start with phone records.
Okay.
Psych! After combing through the larger sample of phone records, investigators applied for another search warrant for Kohberger's phone records between November 12th and 14th, the period of time right before and after the murders took place. His phone records showed him traveling through nearby Pullman, Washington. Super duper close. I'll show you on the map here in a little bit.
Okay.
Just before 3 a.m. on the 13th. Weird.
Yeah.
Until the device abruptly stopped reporting to his cellular network.
Huh. So he turned it off?
Mm-hmm. He's believed to have turned off his phone.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're
I
fine.
spoiled it for everyone.
No. Or hey, caveat, or otherwise disabled it at this time.
Right.
Yeah. But yes, he turned it off.
Yeah, let's like get it up right to close to where I'm going to murder someone and just turn off my phone and it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, they have no idea where I am. Like, you have to turn it off for the whole trip.
What an idiot.
Or better yet, actually don't turn off your phone as you're driving to the murder scene.
Yeah.
Leave your phone at your fucking apartment.
Leave it on.
Jackalope.
So people think you're there. Like,
yeah. You fucking imbecile.
I mean, thank gosh, but.
Yeah. Roughly an hour later, the phone records show him heading from Idaho back to Washington. Weird. You know what, though? Honestly, when I drive from Washington to Idaho, I always turn my phone off too.
It's like a superstition thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like holding your breath, but for your phone.
Yeah.
It's like the tunnel thing. You get it. His phone records indicated he traveled to the area of the victim's residence much earlier in the day, around 9 a.m.
He didn't turn off his phone for that?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
But he was only there for roughly 10 minutes before returning home. Which, okay, they're super close together. Pullman, Washington, and Moscow, Idaho. But do you drive across a state line just to like kind of do a loop-de-loop?
Hang out for 10 minutes and go back home?
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
That's weird.
It's weird.
Unless he was like picking up drugs. That's like the only other thing I can think.
Yeah. Investigators also obtained another search warrant to determine if Kohberger had, this is a quote, stalked any of the victims, in this case, prior to the offense. According to the affidavit, those more detailed records indicated Kohberger's phone had been near the victim's residence at least 12 more times between June 23rd of 2022 and November 13th of 2022.
Wow.
So 5 months. And he does not live in Idaho.
That's strange.
And another quote here. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days. Almost like you're like casing the place or something, you know? Weird. So weird. Okay, now this doesn't look great, but it's hardly the nail in the coffin, right? Especially in the absence of the murder weapon. But let's circle back to the driver of the white Hyundai Elantra.
Can we?
Yeah. law enforcement, they kind of wanted to just have a little chat with the guy or gal.
Yeah.
At that point.
Anyone and everyone
Could
who
be
has
anyone.
a white.
Theys, thems. They had requested any footage from the area the morning of the murders. Sure enough, these efforts did pay off when they spotted a white Hyundai Elantra in the footage at 3:25 a.m., which is kind of his thing.
The witching hour.
'Twas. They would come to believe this vehicle had somehow been involved in the murders. The vehicle passed by the Kings Road residence 3 times, beginning just before 3:30 a.m. The 4th time the car passed by the home was at 4:04 a.m., as stated in the affidavit. At 4:20 a.m., it was seen speeding away from the neighborhood. The route that police believe that Kohberger took on his way out of Moscow and eventually back to Pullman would have been longer and certainly not the most expedient, which begs the question, why would anyone do that at such an odd hour?
Yeah.
Just out for a little drive?
No, it literally makes no sense.
Nope. Probably trying to circumvent detection by law enforcement would be a pretty good reason, though. Or it would have been if he hadn't waited until almost a week later on November 18th to register his vehicle so that he could get Washington plates.
Okay.
These motherfuckers always do something so mind-numbingly stupid. Here's the thing. I know that doesn't sound like a thing. This is a thing.
Okay.
Pennsylvania doesn't require a front plate.
Oh.
So that would have made his particular white Hyundai Elantra stick out.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I haven't told you this yet, but if he's a PhD student, shouldn't he have thought of that before going to commit this horrific crime? There's just always at least one detail that doesn't get accounted for. Oh, it feels so good. God, I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Washington State University, henceforth WSU, their cameras picked up the douchemobile departing Pullman the morning of the killings around 2:44 a.m. and heading east toward Moscow, later returning at about 5:25 a.m. After the Moscow Police Department put out a warning for law enforcement to be on the lookout, or BOLO, if you're nasty.
Did they really say that?
What?
BOLO?
Yeah. That's
they
what they
do?
call it. Yeah, it's an abbreviation.
I love that.
Yeah. So they put out a BOLO for the white Hyundai Elantra on November 25th. So this is like less than 2 weeks after the crime occurred.
Wow.
An officer with WSU searched the school database, finding Kohberger's registration to a student apartment complex in Pullman, Washington. This was on November 29th. Meanwhile, another Washington State University officer found Kohberger's car in the parking lot of the building while searching for white Hyundai Elantras. So he's like, couldn't hurt to check.
Yeah, right.
According to the affidavit, Kohberger had also been stopped by police on 2 occasions prior to the murders. The first instance was when he was pulled over in a traffic stop on August 21st in Moscow, Idaho.
Oh.
So they know he likes to hang out there.
Wow.
On October 14th, he was pulled over again at Washington State University. At the time of both of these stops, his Pennsylvania plate, just the one of them, was LFC 8649, which is weird because it has 7 digits and I hate it. Anyways, in court documents, law enforcement stated that his car was later spotted by a plate reader in Loma, Colorado. So this is after the murders. That was on December 13th. But the traffic stops that everybody really seems interested in are the ones made later in December on the 16th and the 30th in Hancock County, Indiana, and Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, respectively.
This guy gets pulled over a lot.
Sure does. Well, these last two, they may not have been totally on him.
Oh.
The latter location being where his parents live. In Indiana, he was pulled over for following too closely. And it has been widely reported that the FBI instructed law enforcement in these jurisdictions to pull him over because they wanted to check for defensive wounds.
Oh, okay.
So if you are trying to kill someone, they often are not super okay with that. And they will occasionally attack you back.
Yeah.
You know, little tit for tat.
Ugh.
In any case, I'm just glad that in the end, today at least, he's in custody. Now, by the time this airs in our feed, you all will likely have heard this last bit of news in the case if you're following it. Bryan Kohberger stood silent in court on May 22nd when the judge asked him to enter his plea. His defense attorney, Ann Taylor.
Oh, Ann Taylor?
That is exactly what I said. And that is why you are my motherfucking co-host. She had a fantastic pantsuit. Actually, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that. Anyways, she stated simply to the judge, "Your Honor, we will be standing silent," which of course has led to countless hours of me snickering about how this guy is probably some numbskull sovereign citizen character.
You can do that? You could just not answer?
Mm-hmm. Legally, you can do that. People think that somehow this is like maneuvering. I, for the life of me, cannot understand how.
Like you're guilty or you're innocent. You can't say you're innocent.
This little stun didn't do much of anything to further his legal defense as far as I'm concerned, as far as I can tell at this point, as the judge responded by entering a not guilty plea on his behalf. So,
right?
I mean, a plea still gets entered. Yay or nay?
I just don't understand that. Like, why would you ever... I don't know. Just say that you're innocent. Like,
listen, Twitter has ideas. I don't know. It's stupid. I hate everything. The trial is now tentatively set to begin in October. Still, there's only speculation and internet gossip about his motive at this point. There are so many horrible details to this case. And honestly, there's no way that you could get to everything in just one episode. We're not going to do episodes that long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just horrific how in one case, a family member was reportedly given really graphic descriptions and even treated hearing professionals on the law enforcement side of things speculate about aspects of the case that just, it seemed really inappropriate. I mean, and not just to me. This is like a popular opinion.
Yeah.
And not popular because it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure if we'll dig in at some point for more discussion or additional updates, but I wanted to leave things on one of the only positive notes that there is to be found. Cassie, remember I told you I'm not talking about a lot in terms of what happened that night. We're not talking a lot about how they died. But Kaylee and Maddie were best friends. Kaylee and Maddie were sleeping in the same bed that night. And her family has been given, both of their families, I should say, have been given a great deal of comfort by the fact that because they literally died in the same bed together, that they didn't die alone. They died with their favorite person.
Oh.
And I lied because there's two things. Because I saved this one for you. Kaylee's dog, Murphy, was found alive in her bedroom.
Oh.
So she'd already moved out and she was sleeping in Maddie's bed.
Oh.
And Murphy was in the other room.
Oh. Murphy. What happened to Murphy?
I'm sure Kaylee's family has him. I don't really know, but I was just like, God, that's so sad. And people like talked about how like, well, why didn't the dog bark? And what does it mean that the dog didn't bark? Like, this dog lives in a, college dorm.
Yeah.
Like,
not all dogs bark.
He's used to hearing people at odd hours of the night.
Yeah.
Also, everybody get off this little fucking dog's jock.
That dog is probably traumatized for life. Like, even
Yeah.
if he didn't see what happened, I don't know, but he heard.
He didn't because he was still in there when...
Do you think the dog like was with them and he like took it out and put it in another room?
I don't think so. I think she just took it to... I think it was just in her bedroom. Yeah. Probably because they got home really late and they were just like, we're just going to sleep in. You know what I mean? Which honestly is like, if I'm ever murdered, I just hope that nobody hurts my dogs.
Yeah.
But also, please don't murder me.
Yeah, don't murder anybody.
Don't murder people. Don't murder anyone, but especially dog owners, because we're better than the rest of you.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, should we get into the tarot reading?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to like try really, really hard not to cry because I cried in the last one and I told myself I wasn't going to cry.
I know. So I forgot that I left that in about the dog.
I want you to all be proud of me that I'm not crying right now.
Let's do the tarot.
We're doing it. We're doing the tarot.
Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
And I think we decided we're going to draw 2 cards.
Okay.
For the 2 different cases we talked about. Caitlin
talked
both
about birds.
Oh.
Okay.
I've shuffled. Caitlin's given it a shuffle. Things are flying out of the deck. How many fell?
Okay. Just one. Just the one.
Okay. Oh, it's a crab.
Okay, we'll hold that one back.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Is it?
It's a 4.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So we got a jumper and it was the 4 of Cups. We got Page of Wands and the 8 of Swords. Okay.
All right, then.
So we ended up drawing 3.
Well, this one's a jumper.
Yeah.
This one's a jumper. Well, I'll read all 3 of them, probably. But...
For sure. For sure.
Okay. We're going to start with the ones that I actually did draw.
Page of Wands in reverse.
Okay. The Page of Wands, our keywords are questing, playfulness, innocence, curiosity, and learning.
Molly.
And Molly. Yeah. The Page of Wands is a youthful figure, sometimes a boy, sometimes a girl. Older decks often show him or her in Renaissance-style court garb with short pants and stockings, but in contemporary decks, he or she may wear regular kids' clothing.
Oh, interesting.
The page goes by other names too, depending on the deck, including child, daughter, and apprentice. The collective tarot calls them seekers. In a reading, the Page of Wands may signify an actual person. If so, it's a spunky child or young person who's full of curiosity and eager to learn. Reversed, the Page of Wands represents a delay, mix-up, or disappointment. Sometimes it says the time isn't right to start something or that you're on the wrong track. If the card signifies a real person, it may mean that he or she can't be trusted or isn't up to the task. In a reading about money, the reverse page advises caution. Seek advice from someone more knowledgeable and experienced. Wait a while and get more info before laying down your hard-earned cash. It's weird. I just pictured somebody like laying their hand of like cards down.
Oh, I keep saying, I almost said interesting again. I was like, I'm not going to say it again.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, well, there you go.
Oh my gosh. It kind of reminds me of like how you were saying the FBI was handling the first case, and
yeah,
you're on the wrong track. And
if you asked about work, this card suggests you may be naive about a situation related to your job or the job that you think you want to have, Mr. Kohberger. Or it may show you need to learn more, develop your skills, or put in more effort to get ahead. Okay, so that's kind of creepy in the instance of college age.
Yeah.
Okay. In a reading about love, the page can show childish behavior, hang-ups from childhood that interfere with the relationship, unrealistic expectations, or lack of commitment. I've got an extra excerpt. Page or princess. In medieval times, a page served as an assistant to a knight or a nobleman, and sometimes as a court messenger. Although those pages were boys, we talked about that in the coronation. And in early tarot packs, they're portrayed as youthful males. Contemporary decks often depict them as young females to establish a gender balance among the court cards.
It's interesting, too, that you're talking about like a gender balance, and the first case was gender imbalance. Major one.
Yeah. Confirmed. I mean, the second one, the jury literally hasn't even come in, so they can't still be out. Okay, the Four of Cups. Keywords are withdrawal, rest, boredom, lack of inspiration. The Four of Cups in the Rider-Waite-Smith and other decks depicts a lone person sitting beneath a tree. Some show a disembodied hand passing him or her a cup. The idea is that you've gone off on your own and aren't receiving what others hold out to you at this time. I remember reading this recently, and I just realized that was at UFO Fest. You may be withdrawing from your usual routine, work, friends, etc., in order to get in touch with yourself. The upright Four of Cups symbolizes boredom and stagnation. You're not satisfied with your life at this time, but lack the incentive to make changes. You've detached emotionally from people and situations. Sometimes this card indicates you've sacrificed happiness for security. In a reading about money, this card can mean you're too attached to money and security, perhaps at the expense of love and joy. Perhaps you've prioritized money in the past and now seek meaning in other things. If the reading is about your job, you probably feel stuck and bored with your job. You may long for more creativity and enjoyment, but have opted for security instead. In a reading about love, The 4 shows you withdrawing affection and energy from a relationship. Perhaps routine has sapped your enthusiasm. This card also symbolizes a relationship based on security rather than passion. I feel like there's some, if you're looking at just purely from a speculative perspective, there's some possibilities there with either case. Definitely the withdrawing, that makes sense to me. Just
like being unemotional, it said, or something like that. Or
yeah, and it's something that I didn't go into in this episode, but with Kohberger specifically, I'm not going to get into his life story. It's not happening. There was a particular point in his life where he really withdrew from everyone. I don't know.
I was getting strong douche burger vibes from that card. I mean, it has a big old crab on it.
It does.
He's a Krabby Patty.
He doesn't deserve a Krabby Patty.
It's super weird that it has a 4 on it too.
Yeah, it is. And that's the one that jumped out.
Yeah.
It's weird too, because as I go back to our index to pull up the last card, I closed the spot in my book and just reopened it again, right to the 4 of Cups.
Oh.
So.
Magic.
Nothing creepy happening here at all. Oh boy. Okay. And then the 8 of Swords. Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Keywords are entrapment, self-undoing, fear, helplessness, bondage, denial, and deception.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I want to see where this goes, but there's a particular, this first sentence, I'm like, okay, I think I might like where this is going. In many decks, the 8 of Swords shows a person bound and blindfolded, ringed by a prison of swords. Because swords represent thoughts and beliefs, this card says you've created your own prison with your ideas and only you can free yourself. I mean, you can't free yourself. You're going to die there.
Yeah.
A card of self-undoing. This is the you are your own worst enemy card.
It's so true. Oh my God.
You know you need to do something, but you're unwilling to act. Perhaps you're in denial about a situation. Consequently, you're stuck in a painful state. However, the 8 upright, holy fuck.
What?
However, the 8 upright says you have the resources necessary to get out of jail.
Oh.
If only you can overcome your fear. See, that's why I was very dubious about this card. I don't know. Ooh.
It's pointing to someone's self-sabotage or like self-undoing. And
which feels very appropriate. Yeah. But I don't like the idea of anyone getting out of jail.
I mean, we're usually talking about the tarot and, not literal terms.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
okay.
We can make this literal, but he would not be getting out of jail.
That's true. Yes. Okay. Thank God I have a chaperone.
But he sure put himself in there by being an idiot.
He sure did. Many of our fears are tissue paper thin, and a single courageous step would carry us clear through them. That's our extra excerpt there.
Courageous step, like not murdering people?
Yeah, I don't. That
so
remains
hard.
Unclear. In a reading about money, you may feel your hands are tied, but that's an illusion. Still, you must make choices to free yourself from a limiting situation. Perhaps you've fallen into debt through unwise spending. Sometimes this card says be content with small gains. Holy shit, that's the first case. Like, who is more pissed off than somebody who can't afford to lose money on a poker game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. If the reading is about your job, fear of change or feelings of inadequacy may be holding you back. As a result, you're blind to possibilities. Perhaps you're wasting energy or underusing your abilities. Upgrading your skills may help you advance. Well, it's too late.
I mean, he had a PhD. How much further can he advance?
He didn't have a PhD yet.
Oh, right.
To be fair. And you know what? He never will.
No. Hopefully. Ugh. Did they do that in prison?
I mean, there are educational programs.
We're going to say no.
How's he going to pay for it, though?
Yeah.
It's like, I think, no. Just putting the foot down? No. Okay. In a reading about love, this card suggests you feel trapped or unfulfilled in a relationship. However, you're contributing to the problem. Perhaps your expectations aren't realistic, or you need to change your attitude if you want to change the situation.
Change your tude, bruh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm just so bored of this. Fucking dude.
Doucheburger.
Well,
I'm going to post pictures of the little interpretations for the Patreon, but I'm going to let you know that this is a Paiute ground squirrel. Paiute?
Really? Yeah, I think, yeah.
With a cactus. It doesn't say what kind of cactus, which kind of irritates me, but that's fine.
And we can Google.
Yeah, let's Google it.
Google it.
And the 4 of Cups is a Dungeness crab.
Oh, shut up. Okay.
Dungeness. And the Page of Wands is a kit fox.
So cute.
Is a kit fox a type of fox, or is it a fox baby?
I think it's a young fox. I'm not entirely...
Why wouldn't it say fox kit? We're gonna Google.
We're gonna look into that. We'll get back to you.
Yeah. Or you can do your own Googling and figure it out yourself.
Probably do your own Googling, because I have ADHD. So unless I really latch on, this is just going nowhere. But yay.
Should we go somewhere?
Where?
Just like off the video.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I guess. As I think everybody knows, the Patreon gets a video of the tarot reading. They get the ad-free episodes. Let's see. They get so many good things.
Patreon, if you don't know yet, is a monthly subscription with a range of price points and benefits. Every member gets a personalized welcome card from us personally. It's personally personalized. You also get a shout out in an upcoming episode, which you guys got to hear a little taste of last week.
Yes. We're going to skip a week on the Patreon shout outs because we do put a little bit of time into preparing those. And this one kind of became an unexpected 2-parter.
Right.
So we'll be back with that.
Yep. We won't get rid of them. We promise. We won't. Yeah. It's not a one and done. We're not a one-hit wonder here.
No, we actually have weeks worth of Patreon shout outs.
Be prepared.
If you can't support us monetarily, no worries, because the easiest way to support happens to be free. All of them are.
All of them are free.
Free 99. I feel like I say that every week.
It's okay. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun to say.
No one cares. And if they do, they don't matter.
Yeah.
Right. I sent you that quote.
Yeah.
Tell everyone and anyone you can about us. Even if you open a door for a nice old lady at the grocery store, tell her about PNW Haunts and Homicides. She might be confused, but that's okay.
Yeah. Can you explain to me what a podcast is, young man?
She might be really, really grateful and thankful. So, take a chance.
You just changed her life. Now she knows what podcasts are.
Yeah. Or you can leave us a 5-star review on any platform you can, specifically Apple.
Yeah, that's real high priority stuff there.
but you can also do Spotify. Anything else you listen on, probably.
Yep.
Can you rate us on our website?
Yes.
Oh.
Actually.
Oh.
People can directly provide nice little reviews and messages through the website.
Do it. Do that.
Do that.
Do it all. Do multiple.
Do all of them.
It's fun.
Yeah. If you have any true crime, paranormal, or witchy stories to submit for our listener appreciation episodes, Creepy People Chronicles, please email us at pnwhauntsandhomicides@gmail.com, or you can also use our very handy Google contact link. There's a form. It's all in the episode description. You can go there. Tell us the thing.
You are always welcome to remain anonymous if you have a story to share, or we will just share your first name. And remember, they don't have to be from the Pacific Northwest. You can share stories from anywhere in the galaxy.
Yes.
If you've been to Mars, let us know.
Yeah, specifically elsewhere in the galaxy, we're very interested in collecting those stories.
Yeah, we want to hear it first, so come to us.
But like, if all you've got is something weird that happened when you saw like the Aurora Borealis, you know, I don't know. What's weirder than the Aurora Borealis? Aurora.
I know. I was waiting for you to kind of mess that up, but you didn't.
I nailed it. Yeah. Are you from Iceland? Are you from Sweden? South Africa? Australia?
Yeah. Australia? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just scared that if you write us, somehow a bug from your planet is going to get transferred here.
And now we've established that Australia is a different planet.
It is, I think.
Cool. Follow us on all of the socials if you don't want to miss out on photos of the tarot cards, our altar setups, and a lot of backstage shenanigans.
All of the shenanigans.
Behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. You can find our website or Linktree in the description of this episode to check out all of the fun we have to offer. Have a creepy ass day. See you next Tuesday.
Maybe sooner. Who knows?
Unless you're a doucheburger.
Yeah. See you never, doucheburger.
Non-PhD having doucheburger.
You non-PhD having motherfucker.
Your car sucks.
Snacks are always, they're way better than the snacks that they give at really almost any other party, in my experience.
Super Bowl party?
Okay, no, you know what? Yeah, okay, football.
I win.